You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Sorry about that. Welcome. Kamikaze with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Derry Bennett, Quad Bennett, Michael. Heat, how's it going? Kamikaze, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. I have Scrutiny. Welcome. Ooh, I forgot my drink outside. Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Folks, we are going to try to get through some of this stuff quickly. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate it. It's drinking an Arnold partner for no reason. Oh, Christ. Yeah, Undertaker and Kane endorsing Trump. That's okay. They can have them. I'll take Batista. School is finished. I had to smoke. Now it's time to regulate. Hey. Yeah, you don't Google that if you can help it. Welcome, welcome. Folks, before we get started, just a couple of things. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for your support. If you want to continue to support the channel, there are many different ways. Keep liking the stream on YouTube. Okay, it really does help us out. And if you want to join the Discord, you can. This weekend, we will be having another movie event. We'll be having the movie event, I should say. The movie night is happening this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So feel free to hang out on the Discord. We're going to be playing The Nightmare Before Christmas. Join us on Halloween, as we will be playing spooky movies throughout the day. We're going to start at around noon. So we'll be playing some spooky movies that we find. That I'm going to take a couple of your suggestions in the movie. Thread. So if you go on the Discord, there's a movie thread. Kamikaze has put a couple in there, so that's pretty cool. We'll take a couple of those as well. That's right. Don't forget, folks, if you want to support the channel, you can do so in many different ways. And you can also tip your streamer by hitting the exclamation mark tip. All right, folks. Let me grab my drink really quickly. I left it just outside the studio. So let me grab my drink and then we will get started. Jendrik Bender, greetings. Hola. Welcome. Just give me 1 second, folks, and I will be right back. I just literally need to just grab it. It's right outside my studio. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Let me make sure I got everything going. Let's do it, folks. So I'm pretty sure that most of you have already heard by now the ridiculous, very obvious publicity stunt that Trump pulled at the McDonald's during the weekend. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but make no mistake, this entire thing was a publicity stunt. Okay, they had to close the McDonald's down and vet the people that were getting in there. Trump, by the way, wasn't doing like the entire process of work. Okay, that guy can't handle doing the full work of a fast food worker. I seriously doubt that he can. But he got the photo op, so yeah. You and Ambiguobot are my favorite political streamer. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. McDonald's is the new Chick-fil-A now. Yeah, it's open on Sundays. That's the difference.
Look at that. Look at that. How are you? Thank you, Mr. President.
Whoa!
Believe it or not, it is just 2 weeks until the general election. And over the weekend, Donald Trump was caught staging an appearance at a McDonald's while also...
He didn't work the lobby. Nah, like he barely did anything. Like he got a couple of good photo shoots or photo ops, video ops, I guess, of him working the fries and handing out bags. That's about it. I think he did like in total just maybe a dozen minutes of work at most, 15 at most.
refusing to acknowledge a question on the minimum wage, which he, of course, does not support raising. In fact, in 2016, he supported eliminating the federal minimum wage. But I'm going to get to some of these images because we got to be honest, this is why it's worth addressing this. This is a smart campaign move. The images and the video coming out of this, I think, help in terms of making Trump look more personable, make him look more normal. Here he is conversing with the average man, working the fries here. This is a smart campaign move.
Oh, yeah, I am. Pro streamer moment. Look at that. Pro streamer moment. So just to be clear, as Eye of Scrutiny was saying, the whole thing was a photo op, right? From beginning to end. Like, there's no way that this guy could actually handle a full shift. You're good now? Okay, great. There's no way that this guy could handle a full shift as a fast food worker. Okay? No way. Listen. I couldn't handle a full shift of fast food work. Okay? That is some grueling work to be behind the grill, the fryer, and also like handing out food. Like, it is a freaking hard job. Okay? It is a hard job. Sheesh. You went through the whole gauntlet there, Michael Hasser. All I made was quality service tech. Nah, I could not handle it. I could not handle a full shift of a fast food work. Man, that is some rough work. So he got his photo op, you know. Like you said, I have scrutiny. They vetted the customers because they shut the whole McDonald's down for the day because obviously for security reasons. They're not just going to let Donald Trump operate a drive-through like that without security. So yeah, this whole thing is just kind of like it's fake. Okay, that's it.
But let's
They offered me a franchise if I stay, but I went tech.
be aware. Let's be let's acknowledge that this is not who Trump cares about. Nothing he has ever done or shown displays that Trump cares about anybody.
Yeah, just to be clear, like Trump Trump despises the working class, okay? Trump despises the working class.
In the working class. That said, that's why photo ops like this for him are important, because in lieu of any actual policy, any actual gains for the working class, he's able to showcase, images like this to make him seem like a working class Donald, which is insane. Makes me laugh even just saying it. This is a guy who's incredibly anti-union. To view him as anything in support of working class policy is ridiculous. But all the pro-Trump accounts on this one is just over, like, endless images and video coming from this, because they know this was a smart campaign move. Here he is with the workers, or at least some of the workers there. Here he is prepping the fries.
Tight.
By the way, this isn't because Trump wanted to be like the working class man or anything like that. This is because like he thinks that Kamala Harris lied about working at McDonald's, so that's why he's doing this whole publicity stunt. Because he says like, now I've worked more at McDonald's than Kamala has. Like that's what. By the way, this is what this is about. This is about his ego. Okay, that's what this is. He's gonna be so proud of himself the next time he eats some burgers and burgle and fries, bragging to Melania about how the fry biz goes.
You got the salt on it.
Bro,
Never touches the human hand.
Very good. Very
Nice
good.
and full.
dude, if he did that in real time, while there's like 30 freaking orders pending, you've got like 5 cars in the drive-through, okay, and you're shoveling fries at, oh man, dude, he wouldn't last a freaking day. He wouldn't last a freaking day. Bro wouldn't last a real shift. I don't think he would last a real hour, okay? Because they had to shut down that McDonald's. So the actual like customer flow was not going to be the regular customer flow. This dude couldn't even take an hour of a real shift. Kamala should bankrupt the company to compare.
Never touches the human hand. Nice and full.
Amazing.
So that was the extent of his actual work at McDonald's. The other part of it was him just... Okay.
Yeah, he was just handing out the food. Okay.
To the here, just handing the bags out. He wasn't actually taking orders because there were no orders being delivered. Again, I'll get to the staging behind all of this, but here's an example of him handing a bag out through the window. Note here, there was no microphone. He is not talking to people. He's not taking orders. He's just handing a bag through a window.
I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again.
Yeah, sure, dude. Yeah, bro, listen, if fast food, okay, if fast food, the only thing that you had to do was hand out bags, okay? Yeah, man. Sure.
Look at
Oh,
that.
Mr.
Look
President.
at that. How
Wow.
are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you. Hi, Donald. How are you?
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet you.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so
You
much
are
for
not
everything you're
ordinary.
doing.
I can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person.
Yeah,
we
okay,
want to
so like okay, obviously what's going on here is that these are Trump supporters that are being vetted and allowed to be handed food by Trump. Okay? That's what's happening here. That's very obvious. That's what's happening here.
the President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So nice. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Bye.
Yeah, I took a bullet. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
When you think about it, I guess that's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Oh my God. It's just so ridiculous. So,
We set up the Harris Fight Fund program to protect every vote. Here is why your contribution.
it just so happens everybody that came to the window was a massive Trump supporter. How convenient. So they got, they were able to get conservative media to latch onto this. New York Post. Trump works fry cooker at McDonald's. Needles Harris over claims she worked there. Claims she worked there. She worked there. There's no claims she worked there. She worked there. But of course, that was one of the other things that Trump used this appearance for, was to try and cast doubt her work at McDonald's. Because again, his attempt here is to try and bolster his working class.
Yeah, like let's be honest. Like that's what this is about, okay? Like that's what this is about.
Bona fides while criticizing or while trying to undercut Harris and any connection she has to the working class. It is just so ridiculous. So Evan writing here, drive-through is one of the hardest jobs at McDonald's. He's not doing that job at all. He's just handing out food that is handed to him. He's not even wearing a headset. This is hardly working at McDonald's. Exactly right. This is just, again, pure photo op. Here's some of the evidence we have here of this being a complete staging. So Tristan sharing this one. Trump's campaign and followers claim that he was really working at McDonald's and served food. False. McDonald's was closed, and the customers were supporters who rehearsed in advance. So I got some of that in a second, but they have the image here of on the window showing that they are closed while Trump is there. And Washington Post reporting here, the restaurant was closed to the public during Trump's visit, and the motorists whom Trump served were screened by the U.S. Secret Service and positioned before his arrival. No one ordered food. Instead, the attendees received whatever Trump gave them. Trump was at the fry station for about 5 minutes and spent...
What? Dude, they didn't even get to order? Oh, come on. They didn't even get to order? What a ripoff. That sucks. What if you just got like food that you didn't like? Oh man. Amazing.
spent about 15 minutes at the drive-through window, much of it taking questions from reporters. Just a complete staged photo op. He also did not answer a question on the minimum wage. Here is a video of that.
From all I hear, it was staged. Yeah, like it was basically one giant photo op. Ultimately, I would like to see Trump sentenced to fumbling his way through low-paying jobs. like this at some community service for entertainment of all. Trump figuring out toilets for or the dishes. Cinema. Bro has never seen an honest, real day's work in his entire, not even silver spooned life, golden spooned life. Okay, not even silver. Bro has had a golden spooned life his entire life.
Pittsburgh game tonight, and we look forward to it, and it should be a good game.
Tell us about getting started in your own career, Mr. President. How did you tell us about those jobs that people take early on to try to make a break and how you did it?
It's a great job to take in the beginning.
Do you appreciate McDonald's more?
And to do it fast.
Oh my God. Some of those questions. The first question that was yelled out to him there, I assume these are all reporters. It sounds like they're all in the same area.
Yeah,
What's your lunch?
he actually pointed out. He's like, "There's the fake news right there, fake news."
Order. Really? You're reporting on a campaign. And your question to a potential president is, what is your lunch order at McDonald's? Wild. So the guy that was asking about the minimum wage was talked over again and again. His question was never got to. I'll get to what Washington Post says. He may have responded to it, but clearly didn't actually answer the question. I'll get to that in a second. But then the other question there at the end, tell us how you got started in your own career. Let me tell you, he worked for his daddy. That's how.
Yeah, he got a small loan of $1 million, and that's the beginning and end of that. I don't understand what kind of a question was that? What kind of a question was that? Who did he think he was fooling? He wasn't fooling anybody new. Just fooling the people that he's already been fooling for almost 10 years now. Certainly nobody knew, I hope.
So he did not work at McDonald's. Not that, look, you can't choose the family you're born into. If you're born into, a family where they own a business, I'm not going to criticize you for that. But once you get, the point is you have to acknowledge the obvious benefits you have that others didn't. And if you're in a position where you're a politician, at that point, your perspective should be, hey, I was really lucky. Others aren't as lucky as I am. I'm going to do what I can to help everybody else. That isn't what Trump's position is. His position is tax cuts for the rich. So this idea that he cares at all about any of these people working at McDonald's is insane. This is all completely for a photo op. Now, more on this. So the actual owner of that McDonald's, of course, is somebody who he owns 8 locations, and he's lobbied against a state proposal to make more workers eligible for overtime. So this is a guy who activists have campaigned against because of his low wages. We're also talking Pennsylvania here, where there has been, let me get to the headline first. They've blocked a wage increase for 6 months, the GOP there. So, and by the way, this is a headline from last year, so December last year. So they have continually blocked a increase in wages in Pennsylvania. Of course, no mention of that by Donald Trump, because this is not what he cares about. Also, this is where, so I guess he may have somewhat answered the question, or he didn't answer it. But when asked whether he supported raising the minimum wage, he said, quote, "Well, I think these people work hard. They're great, and I just saw something, a process that's beautiful." He's not raising the minimum wage. He does not support that. Republicans don't support that. They actively fought against that. While he was president, Republicans in the Senate won't consider any wage increases. That's from 2019. And then again later on, when Biden came in, they blocked it as well. This headline from February 2021, and that, of course, was blocked along with some conservative Democrats that helped to block that. Manchin's.
Yeah, so just to be clear, the Republican Party does not support increasing the minimum wage, okay? Period. Full stop. It's not a thing that they believe in, and they're fooling nobody. Okay, with this like faux like working class stunt. Okay.
Cinema. So this has been an ongoing fight by the right to purposely keep wages low. And Trump betting on this appearance at a McDonald's to help him with the working class. Now, here is some polling from Data for Progress. This is from earlier this year. Let me get the actual date. So April 26, 2024. Look at the numbers here. Voters strongly support raising the minimum wage to $9, $12, and $17 per hour. So this is across the board. So likely voters in support in all of it. So even at $17 an hour, we are talking a net plus 31. Democrats, of course, in large numbers, no surprise there. Independents as well in large numbers. This is also why this kind of policy is very important to campaign on. And Republicans, of course, also support it. Except they're a little more skeptical of the $17 an hour minimum wage. They're a net minus 6 there. But Republican voters also support raising the minimum wage. This is an easy thing for people to run on, for Democrats to run on. And I don't know.
Yeah, so that begs the question, like, come on, man. This is such a slam dunk, right? Like, working class issues, like raising the minimum wage and making sure that people have health care, eradicating medical debt, eradicating student debt. All these are incredibly popular policies that it would just be a slam dunk, right? To just run on these things nonstop. They don't care, yeah.
Campaigning to the right, I don't think has really benefited Kamala Harris too much since the joyous campaign that she had in the first month.
Not at all. Not at all.
But this is where things are. Bernie Sanders tweeting out here. Yesterday, Donald Trump did 15 minutes of work at McDonald's where tens of thousands of employees earn starvation wages. But when asked whether he would whether we need to raise the minimum wage, he refused to comment. I will comment. We need to raise the federal minimum wage to $17 an hour. Bernie Sanders knows the popularity of this, and it's the right thing to do. But in addition to that, it is a popular thing to fight for. So he's at least doing his part to try and discuss this. It's also worth mentioning this. Just these. I don't know why the campaign. I mean, I know why, but it's so stupid for the Trump campaign to just create these controversies out of nothing. Kamala Harris worked at McDonald's. I'll get to some of that in a second. But here he is answering a question on this.
Mr. President, you actually have worked at McDonald's now versus...
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Why would she lie about that?
Why? Because she's lying, Kamala.
Stop for a second and really think on how ridiculous this is and how clearly Trump is graded on this curve that no one else is. Imagine Kamala Harris claimed that The Apprentice on NBC. No, that was never a popular show. Nobody watched The Apprentice. Just lying. The Apprentice was popular, but no one watched it. Wasn't popular. They'd be like, "Are you okay? Why are you lying about this? We need to examine your brain. Something wrong?" But it's like Donald Trump does it. Lies blatantly all the time about whatever. And it's just, oh, it's Donald Trump. Who cares? The issue is, while people that aren't moronic understand he's full of crap.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of like the normalization that has happened over, again, about 10 years now, since Trump came into politics, full on, running for president, his 4 years in office, running again in 2020 and now in 2024. This normalization that has happened, that Donald Trump says these things and is obviously lying about these things, just about everything that you can think of. Donald Trump just can't help himself but lie, and just the mainstream has just kind of accepted that that's just how it is. That's very unfortunate.
Claims like this seep into the public consciousness, where people begin thinking, "Oh, I heard Kamala Harris didn't work at McDonald's. She was lying about that," and then that takes on a life of its own. That's the issue with these kinds of lies. That's why Trump does this, because he knows he can get away with this. He's not going to be criticized in any way it's going to actually hurt his campaign in the moment. And these sorts of lies seep into the public consciousness. This is what he's been taught to do his entire life, whether it's about lying about somebody else or bolstering his own his own successes or failures into successes. This is what he's done his entire career, and he's been able to get away with it. And people just look at him as some character. Oh, it's just Donald Trump. Yeah, just Donald Trump, a guy who lies constantly
About everything.
and does it in a way that doesn't have an impact on him in a way that it would on other people. It's wild to witness in real time over and over. Just to be clear on this, since we're discussing it, now I have to talk about it. Yes, Harris worked at McDonald's. She worked at a McDonald's in Central Avenue in Alameda, California in the summer of '83. She was a student at Howard University at the time. I don't really care. Okay, yeah, she worked there. It's just I just feel like I have to put this in here to combat the claim. She also has brought this up before she was ever a candidate for this election. So it was brought up earlier this year. She also talked about it in 2019 when she joined the McDonald's workers in Las Vegas who were protesting for higher wages. So this isn't the first time this has come up. Like in this campaign, she's talked about this in the past. She worked there.
Ban McDonald's, make America healthy again. That's actually a very good point. Because now that you've brought that up, that's hilarious. That's hilarious that he brought on RFK Jr. on his campaign because I'm paraphrasing, but he's all about the healthy things according to Donald Trump. He cares about the healthy stuff. And here he is working at McDonald's, serving fast food to his supporters. It's amazing. Thank you for bringing that up.
Let's compare her to Trump, who began his career working at his father's real estate company. And aside from television and film, he never held a job at a company that didn't bear his own name. So, this is his first time ever. Again, he didn't even work at McDonald's here, but this is his first time even touching any kind of normal job. But again, this idea that people have, oh, he's the guy that really connects with the average person, the working class. No, he is completely full of crap.
Yeah. 100%. Speaking of, by the way, just shifting gears here. Here is Donald Trump doubling down on his stochastic terrorism rhetoric.
You talk about the enemy within. There's enemies, America's enemies outside. The enemy within is a pretty ominous phrase if you're talking about other Americans.
I think it's accurate. I think it's accurate.
Who are you talking about? Who's
And
the enemy?
I heard that they say, "Oh, the enemy."
You talk about the enemy within. There's enemies, America's enemies outside. The enemy within is a pretty ominous phrase if you're talking about other
I
Americans.
think it's accurate. I think it's.
Yeah, so he's doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on this stochastic terrorism, right? He's not as ironically enough, the Chiron actually makes sense. Instead of calling them political opponents or whatever, ideological opponents, whatever, he calls them the enemy within. And as he mentioned earlier, we talked about this, that he believes that they need to be dealt with quite possibly with the military. And I'm paraphrasing what he said. So clearly he's not backing down from this rhetoric, and I don't believe that he will. If there's any political violence, it will be on this guy. It will be on his hands. So FTC GOAT Lena Khan has just released this a couple of hours ago. I love cows. If Kamala gets elected, she'll wipe out all the cows. She's leftist radical who wants all cows wiped out. You got to put the accordion hands, you know? You got to put the accordion hands in between that. Let's see if I have that. I think that's only in my Oh shoot, that's an actual quote. I thought you were making a joke. Oh. I literally thought you were just making a joke. Sadly, no, I wasn't. Oh man, you can send me that link in a whisper. You can send me that link in a whisper. Sadly, no, I wasn't. That's depressing. That's true. Yeah. That's depressing. How do I whisper? Just click on my name. Just click on my name and I think it gives you the option to whisper. Can't stop the vid once it's playing. It's just kind of weird. Yeah, I know.
My name is Briar. I'm 6 years old. I live on a farm in Massachusetts. What's your favorite farm animal?
Favorite farm animal?
What's the animal?
Well, this guy grew up in the city.
I'll tell you what I love. I love cows. But if we go with Kamala, you won't have any cows anymore because you're not allowed. I don't want to ruin this kid's day. But I love cows. I think they're so cute and so beautiful and so protective. But according to Kamala, who's a radical left lunatic, you will not have any cows anymore. So we have to vote her out. If you like cows, you have to vote.
I know. Mr. President, I got a...
Mr. President, my name is Briar.
Amazing. Amazing. You know, the fact that I thought that was a joke should be a shame on me. What he's referring to is methane emission reduction in his own Trump way. Oh, man. So, like, a 5-year-old. Oh, my goodness. Shame on me for thinking that was even a joke. After Arnold Palmer, it's so real. Oh my goodness. I'm laughing because like I'm laughing because that's all I've got left, okay? The fact that this is the state of politics nowadays is enough to like make one go mad. Because like seriously, this is the state of politics where this guy has a chance of winning the highest office in the executive branch. That's just, you can't satirize this man. It's part of his appeal among some people. Yeah, I suppose so. Oh, man. Unreal. All right, before I get into this story, let me get rid of this sweater. It's getting a little warm in here. 1 second, folks. Both candidates can barely complete a thought. I wonder how Musk's platform will react to this FTC regulation. Good point. Considering the kind of advertisers that are on Twitter, you know? The GOAT, Lena Khan, has just posted this a couple of hours ago. As of today, the FTC's final rule banning fake online reviews and testimonials has gone into effect. If you encounter any of these prohibited practices, you can report them to the FTC at the reportfraud.ftc.gov. So the final rule prohibits, let me open image a new tab so we can actually see it. I agree, your neighborly sheet poster. SV Harkin, I think you're referring to Joe Biden. The final rule prohibits fake or false consumer review, consumer testimonials, and celebrity testimonials. The final rule addresses reviews, testimonials that misrepresent that they are by someone who does not exist, such as AI-generated fake reviews, or who did not have actual experience with the business or its product or services, or that misrepresent experience of the person giving it. It prohibits businesses from creating or selling such reviews or testimonials. It also prohibits them from buying such reviews, procuring them from company insiders, or disseminating such testimonials when the business knows or should have known that these reviews are fake or false. Buying positive or negative reviews. The final rule prohibits businesses from providing compensation or other incentives conditioned on the writing of a consumer review expressing a particular sentiment, either positive or negative. It clarifies that the conditional nature of the offer of compensation or incentive may be expressly or implicitly conveyed. Insider review and consumer testimonials. The final rule prohibits certain reviews and testimonials written by company insiders that have failed to clearly and conspicuously disclose the giver's material connection to the business. It prohibits such reviews and testimonials given by officers or managers. It prohibits a business from disseminating such a testimonial that the business should have known was an officer, manager, employee, or agent. Finally, it imposes requirements when officers or managers solicit consumer reviews from their own immediate relatives, from employers or agents, or when employees or agents, or when they tell employees or agents to solicit reviews from relatives, such as solicitation results in reviews and immediate relatives of employees or agents. Company-controlled review websites. The final review prohibits a business from misrepresenting that a website or entity it controls provides independent review or opinion about a category of products or services that include its own products or services. Review suppression. The final rule prohibits a business from using unfounded or groundless legal threats, physical threats, intimidation, or false public accusations to prevent or remove a negative consumer review. The final rule also bars a business from misrepresenting that the review on a review portion of its website represent all or most reviews submitted when reviews have been suppressed based upon the ratings or negative sentiment. Misuse of fake social media indicators. The final rule prohibits anyone selling or buying fake indicators from social media influence, such as followers or views generated by bots or hijacked accounts. This prohibition is limited to situations in which the buyer knew or should have known that the indicators were fake and misrepresent the buyer's influence or importance for a commercial purpose. Nice. Yeah, I agree with all of this. This sounds good to me. And of course, if you encounter these things, you can report them at the FTC. Report fraud.ftc.gov. Respectfully disagree. I hear you, but I mean, like, not to get too much into the weeds, but you know, we're talking like you know, comparing like Trump to like Kamala Harris, you know what I mean? Elon Musk's daily 1 million giveaway to registered voters could be illegal. Yeah, you don't say. While stumping for former President Trump on Saturday, tech billionaire Elon Musk announced that he will give away $1 million, 1 million buckaroos each day to registered voters in battleground states, immediately drawing scrutiny from election law experts who say the sweepstakes could violate laws against paying people to register. Quote, we want to get over 1 million, maybe 2 million voters in battleground states to sign the petition in support of the First and Second Amendment. We're going to be awarding 1 million to randomly to people who have signed a petition every day from now until the election. Musk said at a campaign event in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It is illegal. I don't doubt it. Now, here's a question. Is there anything to be done about this guy? Like, is there going to be any investigations? Because, like, this is, without a doubt, election interference, right? If we want to play that game, this is undoubtedly election interference, where we have a billionaire essentially through a roundabout way, not directly, but he's buying people to register to vote in the hopes of generating a certain result, right? Nope, he owns half the government now. Garland says it takes time, like, till after the election. Well, that does me no good, right? That does me no good what if Kamala Harris doesn't win the election? What if Vice President Harris doesn't win the election? Then it doesn't matter, does it? I can dislike someone politically, but I don't call people stupid just in their politics. I'll never call McConnell stupid nor Tucker Carlson stupid. Nope, he owns half the government now. The ex-owner and Tesla CEO was referring to a petition launched, well, playing ads isn't exactly election interference. No, not playing ads. Not playing ads, but announcing $1 million sweepstakes for, you know, for registering to vote effectively, sounds like a problem. The ex-owner and Tesla CEO is referring to a petition launched by his political action committee affirming support for the rights to free speech and bear arms. The website, launched shortly before some registration deadline, said this program is exclusively open to registered voters in Pennsylvania, Georgia. So, like, yeah, this is essentially like a ploy to like get people to register to vote by entering them in $1 million sweepstakes. People in power typically don't punish corruption. They don't like the precedent. That's true. Musk, the richest man in the world, has given more than $75 million to his pro-Trump super PAC, and he hopes that the sweepstakes will boost registration among Trump voters. He recently hit his campaign trail in Pennsylvania, holding events advocating for Trump, promoting his petition, and spreading conspiracy theories about the 2020 election. This is a one-time ask, Musk told the crowd shortly after announcing the $1 million prize. Just go out there and talk to your friends and family and acquaintances and people you meet in the street and convince them to vote. Obviously, you got to get registered, make sure they're registered, and make sure they vote. The first $1 million winner was named on Saturday, with Musk handing a giant check to a Trump supporter in the event in Harrisburg, saying, "No, so anyway, you're welcome." He announced the second winner on Sunday afternoon during an event in Pittsburgh, handing out another check and a stage adorned with signs reading "Vote early." Yeah, I mean, like, this is just like, this is essentially like buying votes. Whether or not you want to, talk about like, the legality of this, we can debate. But this is highly improper. And we're gonna get into what makes it so. It directly violates the law. Yeah, it's gonna get into that down here. In an interview on Sunday, NBC's Meet the Press, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said Musk's giveaway was deeply concerning and is something that law enforcement could take a look at. Should take a look at, I would say. Was previously a state attorney general. In response to Shapiro's comment, Musk posted on X that it was concerning that he could do such a thing. Federal law makes it a crime for anyone who pays or offers to pay or accept payment for either registration to vote or for voting. It is punishable by up to 5 years in prison. After legal outcry over the weekend, Musk Group tweaked some of their language around the sweepstakes. When you start limiting prizes or giveaways to only registered voters or only people who have voted, that's where bribery concerns arise, said Derek Mueller, an election law expert who teaches at Notre Dame Law School. By limiting a giveaway only to registered voters, it looks like you're giving away cash for voter registration. Right. That's the problem. You're essentially buying registrations in the hopes of influencing an outcome in the election. That's what's happening here. This situation actually reminds me of 2008 or 2012. I live in North Carolina, and the local voting place had people outside that were giving out 100 bills, say if they could vote, if they said they would vote Republican. Welcome, Soulless Death and Despair. Offering money to people who are already registered before the cash prize was announced could violate federal law, Mueller said, but the offer also can include people who are not yet registered, and the potential inducements for new registrations is far more problematic. That's $100 for telling a single lie? Good rate. Most states make it a crime only to pay people to vote, said Mueller, who is also a CNN contributor. He said it's rare for federal prosecutors to bring election bribery cases, and the Supreme Court has been narrowing the scope of bribery statutes. Regardless of long odds of a Musk prosecution, other respected election law experts strongly condemned the billionaire's behavior. This isn't a particularly close case, it's exactly what the statute was designed to criminalize. A former Justice Department official handling voting rights cases and founder of the Nonpartisan Center for Election Innovation and Research. Becker said the fact that the prize is available only to registered voters in one of 7 swing states could affect the outcome of the presidential election is strong evidence of Musk's intent to influence the race, which could be legally problematic. Yeah, so again, like this seems to me that Musk is using his wealth to essentially influence the election to his favor, really. Can't they make them stop? They might not want to. Now, I wonder, do you have to be like registered Republican to be entered in this? He really can't help himself, can he? No. Rick Hasen, an election law expert at UCLA School of Law and a Trump critic, said in a blog post that Musk sweepstakes were clearly illegal vote buying. He pointed out that the Justice Department's election crimes manual specifically says it's illegal to offer lottery chances that are intended to induce or reward actions such as voter registration. Elon really wants Vance to be president. I don't know about Vance. He just cares about tax cuts. Really what he's doing is protecting his pockets. A Trump presidency would protect his company and would protect him. In a social media post late Sunday night, the Musk-backed group reframed the giveaway as a job opportunity, saying winners will be selected to earn $1 million as a spokesperson for America PAC. The 2 winners picked over the weekend have appeared in promotional videos on the PAC's account on Twitter. So, yeah, nice try. He's desperate to get the money back he spent on Twitter. Well, isn't all that debt about to come for him? Was it 44 billion in the hole? He's building a database of voters that he can sell. I think 33 billion from Prince Bonesaw. Maybe. Both Mueller and Becker said the distinction didn't have much impact on the potential illegality of the program. The fine print on the Super PAC's website hasn't changed as of Monday morning, as the lottery is still only being offered to registered voters, they pointed out. Another top Democratic official, Michigan State Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, blasted Musk on Saturday for spreading dangerous disinformation about the integrity of voter rolls after he falsely claimed that there were more voters than citizens in the state. Amazing. I still find the mental image of Elon just reading people's private DMs funny, although it is possible he unironically is trying to build a blackmail network. Who knows? I mean, it's probably just easier to sell all your data, right? Like, it's probably easier to just go the Facebook route, do what all social media companies do anyways, and just sell data. Oops, it leaked. At this point, you can buy any American social security number. That's true. A lot of that information can be found if you really want to. Central Park 5 sues Donald Trump for his jogger case remarks made at presidential debate. I hope they actually go through with this, and I hope he loses even more money. The men known formerly as the Central Park 5 before they were exonerated on Monday filed a defamation lawsuit against Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. With Election Day 2 weeks away, the group accused the former president of making false and defamatory statements about them during the last month's presidential debate with Vice President Kamala Harris. The group is asking for a jury trial to determine the compensatory and punitive damages. Quote, defendant Trump falsely stated that the plaintiffs killed an individual and pled guilty to the crime. These statements are demonstrably false, the group wrote in a federal complaint. The men are upset because Trump essentially defamed them in front of 67 million people, which have caused them to seek to clear their names all over again. Co-lead counsel Shannon Specter told the AP in an email. Specter had no comment on when asked if there are concerns. Some see the lawsuits as purely political because of the group's support for Harris. We are seeking redress in the courts. Trump spokesman Steve Cheung decried the suit as just another frivolous election interference lawsuit filed by desperate left-wing activists. Is there any evidence that this is that these folks are left-wing activists? Also, was can't remember her name. Jean Carroll. Was her lawsuit frivolous? Because it looks like she won twice. So she's 2-0. In an attempt to distract American people from Kamala Harris's dangerously liberal agenda and failure. What does this have to do with anything? Trump campaign officials did not immediately respond to emails seeking comment. Yusuf Salam Antri, Antron McRae, Kevin Richardson, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise were teenagers when they were accused of the 1989 rape and beating of the white woman jogger in New York Central Park. The five, who are black and Latino, said they confessed to crimes under duress. They later recanted, pleading not guilty in court, and were later convicted after jury trials. Their convictions were vacated in 2002 after another person confessed to the crime. Yep, projection. After the crime, Trump purchased a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for the teens to be executed. The jogger case was Trump's first foray into tough-on-crime politics that precluded full-throated populist political personas. Since then, the dog whistles and overly racist rhetoric have been fixtures of Trump's public life. In the September 10th debate, Trump misstated key facts of the case when Harris brought up the matter. They admitted they said they pled guilty, and I said, well, if they pled guilty, they badly hurt a person, killed a person ultimately, and they pled guilty, then they pled not guilty. He appeared to be confusing guilty pleas with confessions. Also, no victim died. The now exonerated five, including Salam, who's now a New York City councilman, have been campaigning for Harris. Some of them spoke at the DNC in August, calling out Trump for never apologizing for the newspaper ad. They had also joined civil rights leader Reverend Al Sharpton for a Get Out the Vote bus tour. Prior defamation suits involving Trump have led to sizable amounts awarded to the plaintiffs. In January, a jury awarded $83.3 million to advice columnist E. Jean Carroll over Trump's continued social media attacks against her, against her claims that he sexually assaulted her in a Manhattan department store in 1996. In May of 2023, a jury found Trump liable for sexually abusing her and issued a $5 million judgment. So, yeah, these aren't frivolous lawsuits. He's lost quite a lot. And I hope that he loses more, quite frankly. We got two more articles, folks. Arizona Republican official who refused to certify the 2022 midterm elections plead guilty. A Republican county supervisor in rural Arizona who refused to certify the 2022 midterm election has agreed to a plea deal, becoming the first person criminally sanctioned for refusing to certify an election since 2020. Peggy Jude, a Republican supervisor in Cochise County, Arizona, agreed to plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge for failing or refusing to perform an official duty by an election officer. She will serve an unsupervised probation of at least 90 days and pay a maximum of $500 fine. Arizona's Democratic Attorney General Chris May said in a press release announcing the plea deal on Monday. Jude, who is still in office, will preside over the presidential election next month and be required to certify its results. The Attorney General's office said in court on Monday that the probation term lasted through 2024 certification, and that if Jude again refused, she would be in violation of her probation and would face up to 30 days in jail for the violation. The local outlet Capital Media Service reported. Tom Crosby, also a Republican supervisor in Cochise County, and judge were charged with 2 felonies, each of conspiring and interfering with an election officer. When asked if his client was interested in a plea deal, Crosby's attorney, Dennis Wolinchuk, said it does not look that way. The case has been watched far beyond county as officials in other parts of the U.S. toy with the idea of not certifying election results, a duty that is classified as a ministerial and not up to the discretion of each individual elected official. The tactic has become popular with Republicans who cite false claims of voter fraud and election irregularities when they refuse to certify results at the county level, causing confusion and potentially delaying results. A recent report by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington found that 35 local elected officials across 8 states had previously refused to certify election results and could be in a position to do so again this year. Arizona is the only state that has brought criminal charges against the officials who refused to certify, according to the report. 2 county election board members in North Carolina, Jerry Fostieri and Timothy DeHaan from Surrey County, were removed from their positions by the state election board for refusing to certify elections there. In other instances in Nevada and Michigan, warnings from state officials that refusing to certify was illegal led to reversals, and officials ultimately certified the election result. The charges against Judd and Crosby are intended to help deter others who consider opposing election certification, May said. Any attempt to interfere with elections in Arizona will not be tolerated. My office will continue to pursue justice and ensure that anyone who undermines our electoral system is held accountable. Today's plea agreement and sentencing should serve as a strong reminder that I will not hesitate to use every tool available to uphold the rule of law and protect the integrity of Arizona's elections. While a misdemeanor with a short probation and small fine is lesser punishment than the felony that the state originally charged Judd with, she's still going to have this on her record. She's going to have a criminal plea on her record, said Nicole Suss, a deputy chief counsel for Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. So I do think that this is significant in and of itself. Judge did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In the plea agreement, Judge attests that she knowingly refused to perform her duty of certification. I voted to delay the canvass during a public Cochise County Board of Supervisors meeting, her statement in the agreement said. I knew that the canvass would be delayed if one of the supervisors voted with me. Judge's attorney, Kurt Altman, said that Judd was glad to have the case behind her and resolved to basically a giant nothing burger after years of investigation and money and whatever, but it's best for her. She's moving on. It's done, so she's happy. No, this is not quite a nothing burger. She literally confessed to essentially messing with the election. So no, it's not a nothing burger. You can try to play it off as such, but no, it's not. If it really was such a nothing burger, then you would probably try to fight that, because it really would benefit you to win, right? It's been a major ordeal for her, said Altman. Pretty much bankrupted her. Well, too bad. She lost her husband to cancer in the middle of it. She was caring for him while she was under indictment. This is a chapter that she wants closed. Maybe, perhaps, instead of deciding to go this route, she could have just done the right thing. It's so sad that that this is where people end up. And it's frankly quite freaking dangerous. Hopefully, more counties and more states become aware that this is a thing, and anyone who thinks that they're not going to perform their duty and thinks that they're going to finagle with the elections should probably think twice, because it is possible that they may face consequences. Hopefully that's the lesson here that is learned. A frustrated Supreme Court to look at one version of judge shopping. The fact that this is even like a thing is like super absurd. The fact that judge shopping is even a thing is absurd. The Supreme Court said on Monday it would weigh in on at least one version of what is derisively called judge shopping. That is the phenomenon of plaintiffs going to great depths to file cases with judges they think are sympathetic to their views. Both liberal and conservative lawyers have judge shopped to one degree or another, but in recent years, business interests, conservative groups, and some red state loves them a frustrated Supreme Court. In recent years, business interests, conservative groups, and some red state attorney generals have been laser focused on bringing their challenges in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which covers Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. Of the 17 active judges on that court, court appeals, 12 are Republican appointees, half of whom are Trump appointees. In short, it is easily the most conservative federal appeals court in the country and the preferred circuit for conservative plaintiffs. This isn't exactly judge shopping, observes Georgetown University law professor. It's circuit shopping. Indeed, nearly a quarter of the cases, 23.4% of the Supreme Court has targeted for review this term, have come from the Fifth Circuit, according to Vladeck. And the justices, several justices, have by innuendo expressed frustration about the circuits. Freudian slip, but you know. Expressed frustration about the circuit's aggressive behavior. The latest dispute that the Supreme Court has now agreed to hear involves a challenge to regulations issued by the EPA under the Clean Air Act, but the question is not the merits of those regulations. Rather, it is whether those challenging the regulations, in this case conservative groups, can essentially bring their regulatory challenges in the appeals court of their choice, most often of late in the Fifth Circuit. The Biden administration contends that federal law mandates that such national questions be litigated at the U.S. Court of Appeals in the District of Columbia, which is supposed to deal with regulatory issues that are nationally applicable. In a similar case, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals agreed with the administration and transferred the case to the D.C. Circuit. That set up a conflict that the Supreme Court will now hear later this term, and it affords the court another opportunity perhaps to send a message to the Fifth Court. 4 members of the current court, Chief Justice Roberts, Justice Clarence Thomas, Brett Kavanaugh, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, previously served the D.C. Circuit. Of those, Kavanaugh served by far the longest, 12 years, while others served for a relatively short period of time before being nominated to the High Court. So I think this is a important case to pay attention to, because it essentially deals with this issue of circuit shopping at this point, as they refer to it. Because I mean, like, think about it. How absurd is it that that you can literally land your case and target specific areas where you, or specific judges and courts where you know you might get a favorable outcome based on political ideology. That's just something that just can't be. And ideally, should be dealt with. He was awarded that for his work with Candace Starr. We'll see how the Supreme Court feels about this, but maybe they might give us a surprise ruling. Who knows? From time to time, we get a surprise ruling from the Supreme Court. So I don't know. It's been the entire point to get partisan judges in power. Right, it's important. It's important to, in order for all this to work for the conservatives. All right, folks, it's time for me to get out of here. It's about to be 7 o'clock, and it's time for me to get some food. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for your support. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you for the subscriptions. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kami. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the follows and whatnot. I appreciate you guys being here. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Spread the word far and wide. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring a friend, folks. And we will be heading out. Join the Discord, folks. There's going to be some events happening. This Saturday is going to be the official movie night. So join us there. On the YouTube, thank you all for joining on the YouTube. Hit the like button on the stream and subscribe. 259 of you have already done so. So join the Discord and consider checking out the merch store as well. And !tip. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you. Thank you for modding Michael Asler and Heat. I appreciate it. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Vion, I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how the voice does tomorrow. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Check the Discord, folks. Check the Discord. Thank you all. See ya. Hang tight, folks. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.